Utah ranks third for most challenging places to boat. Businesses in St. George face a surge of phishing and malware attacks, and your local weather forecast coming up with highs and lows and everything you need to know for the days ahead.
You're watching St. George News at 5, brought to you by our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law.
Good afternoon, I'm Sheldon Demke. Boating in Utah is becoming increasingly risky, with the rise in drug and alcohol use, safety violations, and overcrowding waterways placing the state third among the nation's most challenging for recreational boating. For more on the growing concerns and what officials are advising before you launch, we turn now to Stephanie DeGraw.
Water sports are getting riskier in Utah. Officials from the Utah Department of Natural Resources Division of Outdoor Recreation said drug and alcohol usage has increased among other issues. And now Utah is in the top 10 most challenged states named by the boating rental company Boat Booker. They analyzed 5 years of U.S. Coast Guard data across America to identify safety levels in waterways. Boating program manager Ty Hunter had this to say.
Biggest things besides wearing a life jacket is to take a boating education course. We have a free course at boating.utah.gov, and most boaters, they are comfortable where they're, comfortable in what they're doing, and they feel like this can't happen to me. But the thing is that the more complacent you become into that way of thinking, it will happen to you. It just is. It's going to fall and fall into place. All these different components. Somehow things are going to line up, and it will end up happening to you. And it will be one of the more tragic days of your boating life, other than having one of your most memorable, memory-making and memorable times out on the water.
Small businesses in St. George are being hit by a surge of phishing and malware attacks, prompting an urgent warning from police and cybersecurity professionals. To break down on how these scams are being carried out and what you can do to protect yourself, here's the latest from the police department's press conference. On Monday morning, the St. George Police Department held a press conference after receiving multiple reports of phishing and malware attacks targeting local businesses.
Local businesses are having their email accounts compromised. So someone's guessed their password or cracked their password or in some way gotten into their email accounts. And then they are sending out malicious emails, which are either trying to get money, get information, basically scam an end user.
City IT support specialist Jordan Gothi said at least a dozen businesses have contacted police to report compromised email accounts. Gothi explained that the attackers are gaining access to employee email accounts, either by cracking passwords or through other means. Once inside, they send out malicious emails disguised as trusted sources.
Kind of take a double check, make sure if you're like, hey, this guy sent me a link randomly out of the blue, I haven't dealt with him in a while, maybe call him up and say, hey, did you mean to send this to me? And then at that point, they can say, oh, actually, no, I just realized, my account was hacked or broken into or whatever, and I got all these messages sent out that wasn't actually from me.
The emails often contain links, and if clicked, can install malware to the recipient's computer or server. These links can also lead to fake websites designed to collect personal and financial information.
I would just say anyone who's not familiar with technology as much, or just more trusting and will click on things if they receive them. But really, anybody could, if it's an off day for you, you see someone you're familiar with, you're like, okay, I know this person. You click on a link without even thinking twice or looking twice. It could happen to anyone.
For now, the investigation into the source of these phishing attacks is ongoing. For tips on how to protect your business from cyber threats, read the full story by Cody Blowers on stgeorgenews.com. Now we'll take a look at your daily weather forecast brought to you by Casablanca Resort and Casino. St. George is currently at 103 degrees outside with mostly sunny skies, and there's an expected low tonight of 76. Tomorrow looks like another scorcher with highs around 103 and a low near 73. Mesquite sits at a blazing 107 degrees right now, dipping to 82 tonight and rising to a blistering 108 tomorrow with a low of 80 under extreme weather warning, so drink plenty of water and avoid being outdoors midday. And in Cedar City, it's 85 degrees currently and sunny, dropping to 63 overnight, and a high of 89 and a low of 60 expected tomorrow. And now we'll go to Tyler Todd for your weekly injury law review.
Hi, I'm Tyler with We Win Injury Law. Posting about your accident or recovery on social media might seem harmless, but insurance companies and opposing attorneys watch for anything they can to use against you. A simple photo or status update can be taken out of context and used to question the severity of your injury. Our advice? Stay off social media or keep posts strictly private while your case is active. Your recovery is real. Don't let a post ruin your claim.
The Utah Department of Transportation is planning a new trail to connect Cedar City and Enoch, and they're asking for the public's input. UDOT project manager Sam Grimshaw told Cedar City News that the 6.6-mile route would create more options for walking and biking between the two cities. Regional spokesperson Kevin Kitchen says the community feedback is key to closing critical gaps in the state trail network. UDOT will host a public open house on Tuesday, June 17th from 5 to 7 at the Festival Hall in Cedar City. A new online tool from the Utah Department of Transportation is helping travelers navigate the Zion National Park area with up-to-the-minute updates on roads, traffic, weather, and parking. To see how this site is enhancing the experience for locals and tourists alike, we go now to Stephanie DeGraw with the details.
Navigating travel in the crowded Zion Canyon corridor has become more convenient thanks to the new Roads to Recreation website, zionarea.udot.utah. The site provides real-time information about road conditions, traffic, weather, parking, and travel tips for Zion National Park and other national and state parks in the area. The Utah Department of Transportation Traveler Information Director, Becky Parker, had this to say.
If you are going to drive, that you understand the shuttle system in the area and the best places to park, just so that everyone understands how best to enjoy their visit to Zion rather than searching for parking and doing the things so that you can get out and enjoy the trail system within Zion as quickly as possible.
Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. To learn more about our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law, go to wewininjurylaw.com. I'm Sheldon Demke with St. George News, your #1 source for local news.
This has been St. George News at 5, brought to you by We Win Injury Law.